Hey guys, what's up? Today is Wednesday. It's July 3rd, 2019, and I kind of wanted to come on today and talk about the census issue. That's been a topic of debate for a long time. It's just more so now, than it really has been in past years. So if you're hearing anything, obviously I'm outside. Cameron's on the trampoline over there jumping around, and Zeus is running around in the yard. It's actually a pretty decent day here. We got some clouds. They're saying it could be scattered thunderstorms, but you get out and enjoy it when you can, I guess. So recently, with the census, obviously Trump wanted the citizenship question to be added to the 2020 census that's going to be going out. Now, why it takes them so long to print out these censuses and send them out is beyond me. Literally, they have a deadline of July 1st to get them sent to the printer, and they don't even go out until April of next year. So that's a long time to take to print things. I understand that it's a lot of printing to do, but pretty sure it's the government, and they have huge capacity printers, so it should not take that long. That's just my thought on that whole thing. I'm not sure why it takes that long, but whatever. So they took it to the Supreme Court as far as adding, the citizenship question onto the census, and it was denied. So he wanted to continue to battle it no matter what. He was in fact telling his lawyers that no matter how long it takes, no matter what they have to do, he wants this question on the census. They're fighting back. A whole lot of different groups are fighting back, and obviously they won and Trump lost because his administration team pulled out, decided not to fight anymore as far as getting the question on there. And according to these groups, the reason why they didn't want the question on there is it's racist, because they're asking citizenship, and supposedly, it's something that can be looked at to skew those who vote Republican. So, there's that entire aspect of it, and I'll kind of get into my thoughts and things like that in just a minute. But the census itself is used specifically to divide different seats throughout the House of Representatives. So based on the size of whatever area you're living in is however many seats you have in the House of Representatives as far as that is concerned. It's also used to draw political maps of the United States. And the big one, this is huge, we have to keep this in the back of our minds, it's used to disperse federal funding. So things for education purposes, things for healthcare benefits, supplemental food programs, all of that kind of stuff. The census aids in demographical location information and how many people are in different areas of the country in order to disperse that appropriately and ensure that people are receiving the benefits that they should be receiving based on, low-income families and things like that, supposedly. So, the Census Bureau itself stated that they believe the inclusion of this question would undercut non-citizens and minorities. So here's my take on that thing. And you know that I don't hold back when it comes to my opinion. First of all, I'm pretty sure if somebody is a non-citizen of the United States, they're not going to fill it out regardless of whether that question's on there anyway. Why would you fill out a form where the government could track where you are and figure out what you're doing? And let's take that entire thing and put it in the aspect of minority groups, things that are doing things illegally, whether it be drug cartels, whether it be, selling things, illegally, all different sorts of things could fall under that category. Are you going to fill that information out and have the possibility to be tracked by the government? Probably not. But let's also keep this in mind, and this is what a lot of these individuals I don't think are thinking in their mind, If the government wants to find you, they're going to find you regardless of whether you're filling information out or not. It's the government. They can find anybody. So there is surveillance all over this country. There's surveillance no matter where you go. They're even putting surveillance in street lamps now. So you can't hide. So the fact that these people are saying that, they don't want the question included into the census because we're not going to get an accurate representation of the number of people in the United States is complete bullshit. Because they're not going to fill it out anyway, regardless of whether the question's on there or not. It's just the way that it is. And they're not taking that into consideration. And we need to know what the nationality of the people in this country is. I think it's important. I think we need to know that information. We need to know how many people in the country are still actually United States citizens, whether it be people that were born in this country, people that were born to parents of people in this country, people that were born in a different country and received their citizenship legally, the proper way, or whether they came over and they're not United States citizens. I think we need to use that information. We need to get that information, and we need to use it to better disperse the funding and the things throughout the United States to the people that actually need it. Instead of these people not putting the information on the census, not filling it out whatsoever, then we're not getting accurate, numbers as far as that goes. They're dispersing out, all of these funds to these different low-income households, low-income communities throughout the nation, and it's being undercut because people aren't filling that information out, and we don't actually accurately know how many people are in what area because they're not filling it out. So they're getting less funding when they could be benefiting themselves by filling that information out and receiving the funding that they desperately need to stay, in the country and be able to feed themselves and have health care and be able to get an education, those kind of things. So I think it's important. And let's keep this in mind, okay? A lot of people don't think about this. What about all the homeless people? Just because they're homeless doesn't mean they're not citizens of the United States. Doesn't mean they don't need some type of an aid from the government. We need to be taking care of our own. And those people aren't being counted at all. Because the only way that you're getting a census sent out to you is if you're in a home. And then we have to take into consideration the fact that there's people that live in apartments. So, you could have an apartment and you're not telling the truth about how many people are living in your apartment, so you're not putting that information on there as well. So there's a whole wide array just beyond the fact that they're worried about the illegal immigrants and they're worried about the migrants and the minority groups throughout the country. There's a whole spew of all other people that don't fall into that category, that aren't filling the census out and aren't putting the accurate information out there for everybody to benefit as a whole, as a nation, and start moving towards, protecting our own, taking care of our own, and solving the issues that are going on right here, right now in this country with starving children and homeless families and all sorts of things that are going on that we all know all too well. Also, let's keep this in mind. So they're concerned about filling out the information, and they're putting their information all over the internet. So you can't sit there and tell me that you're worried about filling out information on a piece of paper when you're readily putting your name, your birthday, your address, your phone number, your email address, your credit card information all over the internet. I'm pretty sure that just signing up for Facebook or Instagram or any of those things is a little bit more invasive than a census questionnaire. Yes, it asks your race. Yes, it asks your sex. Yes, it asks all that kind of stuff. But anytime that you fill any type of paperwork out, it's going to ask those kind of questions, and nobody seems to have an issue with a majority of the other questionnaires that they have to fill out for certain things. So the whole thing just doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's also bear this in mind. It's against the law not to fill out the census, yet they don't do anything about it. They don't really prosecute. They could, but they usually don't. So it was written into the Constitution that you need to fill out the census information when it comes around every 10 years, because that's when they do the census, is every 10 years. And the people that aren't they're actually breaking the law, and they could receive a fine up to $5,000. But I don't think they really care, you know? They're heated about the debate, and they're heated about the question, and they just have this mindset where they're not going to fill it out, and that's it. And they're going with that. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, especially considering, you know, this all just occurred with all the other stuff that's going on. Not to mention tomorrow's the 4th of July, where we're celebrating this country. So let me know what you think. Let me know, you know, any other information that maybe you might have heard as far as this census issue is concerned. Obviously, the census is going to get sent out, you know, without that question on there. But I want to hear your guys' feedback as to whether you think it should have been included or, you know, not. So, as always, guys, always remember everything does happen for a reason. Whether you're having a good day or a bad day, you're in a good situation or a bad situation, just stick with it. You're on that journey for a reason, and everything's going to be okay. Also, always remember, forget about the past. There isn't anything that we can do about the past other than learn and grow and be better people from the past. We need to be living our lives right now. Okay, tomorrow's not guaranteed. We all could not be here tomorrow. So it's important that we're living, loving, and laughing right now, enjoying our family and friends while we're staying focused on the future. That's all I've got for you guys today. I look forward to reading your comments, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.